355 call. The calls that we're going to be looking at is that we're going to be looking at the 12/2 weekly expiration. They start right up here, and we're going to be looking at the 355 call that's in the money. We're going to be looking at the 360 call that's in the money. We're going to be looking at the 355 put that's in the money. We're going to take a look at the 360 call that's in the money. And we're also going to take a look at this 360 put that is out of the money. And that they're the weekly that start tomorrow and will end next Friday. And then we'll do the 12/17s separately for value. Here is a 355 call. Apple closed at 363. The call side of the market where the value is in the weekly is as follows. The high was 1765. They marked it down to 1180 on the call. We would be looking at the fact that if it holds its 50-week moving average, that would take more money. If we break below the 360 area and we get down here, they can take more money out of this weekly one. And we'd start at $6.50 on the near-term bid and work our way up. And I'll give the limit prices out on this declining call price for the weekly. As far as the put goes, the put was marked up from $1.55 on 123 to this current high of 306 was the high of this weekly contract. Over here, that week you hit a high of 344, and this week you hit a high of 306. As far as in the money, weekly options expiration is totally calculated differently and much more manipulative, and the bid and ask get marked down on both sides of the market, and that is dealing with weekly contracts. Now on the same weekly contract, I'm going to take a look at the 360 call, which has been marked down right here, and that 360 call was marked down, just so people know that the low is 825 here, and that the high was $16.14. Well, actually, the high up here at $16.14. So we've got a good markdown working about almost 100%. That's the 360 call that is slightly in the money at a 363. We did the weekly long-term charts. So there's the 360 call. Now, and there's that 355 call. The same put option at 360 was marked down to 235 and marked up in the weekly December expiration, was marked up to the high of 490. You've already had a 100% move in the put side going into this week, with Apple short-term being oversold. So that is a 360 put recap and a 360 call recap for the December 2nd options expiration. Let's take a look at up and out of the money. Let's take a look up and out of the money, the 380 call, which is major resistance, and let's see how much it's been marked down in the weekly. The high, here it is, $5. Here it is, 93 cents. They've taken a lot of risk out for us to trade up and out of the money. 363.57. With the right bid, they could mark these things down to 20 cents still now. However, there is a trade in the shorter term deflated premium for a high volume entry and exit of, let's say you make 50 cents on 30 contracts, well, you make $1,500, kind of like you did on Friday. So that is those expirations. Weekly 370 call, which is $6 up and out of the money. We can deal with that. Let's take a look at the markdown and where our wholesale opportunities are. Remember, new people, you can take a look on last Friday's options expiration on 11/25 in those videos. You'll see how they get marked down and how we get that cheap price. Hey, the high here was 1025. This low right here last week, we printed the low there. We closed at 344, but look it, we've already taken out If I'm buying 10 contracts, a lot of people bought 10 contracts at $10. That's $10,000. But if I'm buying 10 contracts down here, it's only $3,300. We're saving a lot of money on the markdown of the 375 December 2nd weekly expiration. Now, when I come over here and I show the same thing here on the 370 put, now that 370 put $7 in the money. But take a look at the markdown where it was. That markdown low was 5, and they marked it up here as a high of $9.95. They ran 100%. You can see the low at $6, and you can see the high here at $10, but the mark low over here is still the total movement in the December weekly 370 put in the money versus the 370 call that's been marked down to $3.30 from the highs of 10.25, and where opportunity is in that December 2nd contract. We will be doing the December calendar year end contracts in the next segment. This is a December 11 370 call, and they've marked them down. We're going to be looking for opportunity depending on how these names respond to support levels. We definitely have everything that we're looking for as far as making a good trade. I will even go as far as the 375 call, which is up and out of the money, almost $10, but not quite. The high over here was $7.50. Look, this is the high, $7.50. We marked it down to $1.83. And yes, they can get marked down some more, and that's a December, so tomorrow's Monday through Friday. This thing is going to have to hold support. If they take premium down, we'll mark the premium down to about 60, 70 cent entries and make our money. However, we can't break below the 50-week moving average, or the put side's going to continue to take market share in this trend. And one of the things that I'm going to show below the market again is that the 350 put for December 2nd, you can see that the lows were $1.02. There isn't a lot of movement because they're out of the money. They're below them, out of the money. So 350 put, that's $13 below the market for next week, but not much of a premium. But there is a low and a high of about, well, the low was $1.02 and the high was $2.31. The low was $1.02. That was a spread. There's still a spread trade. If we break the 50-week moving average, we would be looking at that, because you could sell down to this area of where that put price is. Don't bank on that one a lot, but we've already covered what we need to cover. And here is the 365 put that's been marked up from 330, 100% almost. Well, it is marked up to the high of $7. The low was 410 on the week. So the put side in the weekly is going into the upside, where the deflated call side is below the market. So I'm going to conclude our call and put strategies that we have here in offline video MMTs. I'll give you the limit prices on the markdowns in the morning when I see the futures contract. But I'm going to conclude the December 2nd expiration on call and put strategies across the board. That's all of the various different ones that start here at 12/2, and we will be adding throughout the week. That will conclude December 2nd Apple Computer call and put strategy.